Welcome back to Learn English Naturally. We love to take these deep dives into specific scenarios to help you build your vocabulary and confidence in English.
Absolutely.
And today we're tackling a place that can be a little intimidating for English learners, the bus terminal.
It's true. There's a lot going on, a lot of new words and phrases to learn, and sometimes it feels like everyone's in a hurry.
But don't worry, we're here to break it all down, make it simple, and give you the tools you need to navigate the bus terminal like a pro.
Exactly. Whether you're traveling in an English-speaking country or just practicing your English skills, we're going to help you feel comfortable and prepared.
Okay, let's start with the basics. What are some of those essential words that someone would need to know the minute they step into a bus terminal?
Well, the first thing you'll probably be looking for is the ticket office, or sometimes it's called the ticket counter.
Right. That's where you buy your ticket.
That's right. And speaking of tickets, you'll need to know the difference between a one-way ticket and a round-trip ticket.
Ah, yes. Those can be confusing.
A one-way ticket is just for a single journey to your destination, while a round-trip ticket includes your return trip back to where you started.
It's important to get that right when you're buying your ticket.
Absolutely. And you'll also need to know your departure time, so you know when your bus is leaving.
And the platform, right, to know where to board the bus.
Exactly. So many important words, and they might look simple, but sometimes the pronunciation can be tricky for English learners.
That's true. Can we focus on a few of those key words and break down their pronunciation a bit?
Sure, let's start with terminal. The stress is on the first syllable, terminal. It's easy to misplace the stress on the second syllable.
Terminal. Got it. How about ticket?
For ticket, the stress is also on the first syllable, ticket. Make sure you get that strong T sound at the beginning.
Ticket. Okay, this is helpful. How about route?
Route can be a bit tricky. The oo sound is similar to the oo in moon, so it's pronounced like route, not route.
Route. Okay, that makes sense. I used to mispronounce that one. And what about platform?
Platform has two syllables, with the stress on the first. Platform.
Platform.
Platformer. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on to some phrases now. What are some simple phrases I could use at the ticket counter when I'm buying my ticket?
Well, you can keep it really basic and just say, I'd like to buy a ticket too, and then say your destination.
That sounds easy enough. And if I want to be specific about the type of ticket, I can just add one-way or round trip.
Exactly. So you could say, I'd like to buy a one-way ticket to New York City, or I'd like a round-trip ticket to Chicago, please.
That's helpful. And what if I'm a student or a senior and want to ask about discounts?
You could ask, are there any discounts available? Or do you offer student discounts? It's always worth asking, right?
Definitely worth asking. Okay, so let's say I've got my ticket. Now I need to figure out when my bus is leaving and from which platform. What are some phrases I could use to ask about the bus schedule?
You could ask, what time does the next bus to your destination leave? Or maybe, when is the next departure for your destination? Those are good options. What if I'm in a hurry and want to know if there's a faster bus?
Then you want to ask about an express bus. Just say, is there an express bus to your destination? Express buses usually make fewer stops and get you to your destination faster.
Okay, great. So I've got my ticket. I know the schedule. Now I need to find the right platform. What phrases can I use to ask for directions?
You can ask, which platform does the bus to your destination depart from? Or if you already know the platform number, you can say, could you direct me to platform number, please?
And what if I want to double check that I'm in the right place before my bus arrives?
It's always a good idea to confirm, especially in a busy terminal. You could say, excuse me, is this the correct platform for the bus to your destination?
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly. And speaking of things going wrong, sometimes buses can be delayed, right? So you might need some phrases to ask about that.
That's true. What can I say if I see my bus is delayed on the departure board?
You could approach a staff member and politely say, excuse me, I see that the bus to your destination is delayed. Do you have any information about how long the delay will be?
That's a good way to get some more information. And what if I'm worried about missing a connecting bus because of the delay?
You can say, my bus to your destination is delayed, and I'm concerned about missing my connecting bus to connecting destination in the city. Is there anything that can be done to help?
It's helpful to know what to say in those stressful situations. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground already, but I think it'd be really useful to hear these phrases in action.
I agree. It's one thing to learn the phrases, but it's another to actually hear them used in a conversation.
Right. Are we ready for our first dialogue?
Let's do it. For our first scenario, we'll focus on buying a ticket at the ticket counter. I'll be the ticket agent and you can be the traveler.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Hi there, welcome to the ticket counter. How can I help you today?
Hello, I'd like to buy a ticket to Chicago, please.
Okay, great. Will that be one way or round trip?
Round trip, please.
All right, one round trip ticket to Chicago. Are there any discounts that apply to you, like student or senior discounts?
I'm a student. Do you offer student discounts?
Yes, we do. Do you have your student ID with you?
Yes, here you go.
Perfect. With the student discount, your round trip ticket to Chicago will be $42.
Great. I'll pay with my card.
All right, no problem. Please insert your card here.
Okay.
Okay, your payment has been processed. Here's your ticket and your receipt.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy your trip to Chicago.
Wow, that felt so much more natural than I expected.
See, it's all about practicing those key phrases and feeling confident in your communication.
I'm already feeling more prepared for my next bus trip.
Fantastic. Now, are you ready for our next dialogue? We're going to tackle bus schedules.
Bring it on. I'm ready to test my skills. All right, I'm ready to tackle those bus schedules. Let's do it.
Okay, so for this scenario, let's say you've just arrived at the bus terminal and you need to find out about the bus to Boston.
Sounds good.
I'll be a member of the station staff, and you can be the traveler. Ready?
I'm ready.
Excuse me, can I help you with anything?
Yes, please. I'm trying to find out about the next bus to Boston. What time does it leave?
Let me just check the schedule for you. Okay, the next bus to Boston departs at 11:15 a.m. from Platform 5.
Perfect. And how long is the trip?
It's scheduled to take approximately 4 hours, but you know that can vary depending on traffic.
Okay, good to know. Is it a direct bus, or will there be any stops along the way?
It's a direct bus, so you won't need a transfer.
That's great news. Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome. Have a safe and enjoyable trip to Boston.
I really appreciate all those helpful details. That was much smoother than I thought it would be.
I know, right? It's not so bad once you know the right phrases to use.
Now, let's say I'm at the terminal, and I see that my bus is delayed on the departure board. What phrases can I use to find out more information?
That's a good question. Delays happen, and it's important to know how to handle them. You could approach a station staff member and say, "Excuse me, I see that the bus to your destination is delayed. Do you have any information about how long the delay will be?"
That seems like a polite and direct way to get the information I need.
Exactly. And even if you're feeling stressed, it's important to stay calm and polite when you're talking to the staff.
And what if I'm worried about missing a connecting bus because of the delay?
If that's the case, you definitely want to explain your situation to the staff. You could say something like, "My bus to your destination is delayed, and I'm concerned about missing my connecting bus to connecting destination in city. Is there anything that can be done to help?"
Okay, that's really helpful to know. I feel much more prepared now to deal with those unexpected travel hiccups.
I'm glad to hear it. Clear communication is so important when you're traveling.
Okay, I think I'm ready for our final dialogue. This time, let's focus on finding the right platform.
All right, that's a good one. It can be confusing trying to find your way around a busy bus terminal.
Yeah, especially if you're in a hurry.
So for this scenario, let's say you've just arrived at the terminal and you need to find the bus to Seattle. I'll be a helpful passerby, and you can ask me for directions.
Sounds good. Okay, here we go. Excuse me, I'm looking for the platform for the bus to Seattle. Could you point me in the right direction?
Sure, no problem. The Seattle buses usually depart from Gate 8. It's just down this hallway on your right. You'll see signs for gates 6 through 10.
Okay, great. So Gate 8, down this hallway on the right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good trip.
Wow, that was surprisingly easy. I think I'm really starting to feel more confident about navigating a bus terminal in English.
That's what we like to hear. It's amazing what a few simple phrases can do.
Now, can we switch gears a bit and talk about some of those more specific bus terms that I always get confused about? Like, what's the difference between a local bus and an express bus?
Ah, yes, that's an important distinction. Knowing the difference can save you a lot of time. A local bus makes frequent stops along its route. It picks up and drops off passengers at lots of different locations.
So if I'm not in a hurry and I want to see more of the city, maybe a local bus is a good option.
Exactly. It's a great way to get a feel for the different neighborhoods. An express bus, on the other hand, is all about speed. It's designed to get you to your destination quickly, with very few stops or sometimes no stops at all.
Okay, that makes sense. So if I'm on a tight schedule, I should definitely look for an express bus.
Absolutely. And remember, express buses can be a bit more expensive than local buses, but the time savings can be worth it.
That's good to know. What about luggage? I know some buses have restrictions on the size or weight of the bags you can bring.
You're right. It's always a good idea to check the luggage restrictions before you travel. You can ask at the ticket counter or even just ask a staff member. You could say, what is the luggage allowance for this bus? Or are there any restrictions on the size or weight of luggage?
And what if I have a really big or heavy suitcase?
You can ask about checked luggage. You could say, do I need to check in my luggage? Or is there a separate compartment for larger items?
I once had a situation where I didn't check the luggage restrictions beforehand, and I ended up having to pay extra fees at the terminal.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
It's a lesson learned.
Speaking of lessons learned, I think we should cover a few more useful words and phrases that you might encounter at the bus terminal.
Yeah, I'm always up for expanding my vocabulary.
Okay, good. So you might see signs for the waiting area or the departure lounge. That's the area where you can sit and relax while you wait for your bus to be called.
Makes sense. And what about if I need to use the restroom? What's the right way to ask about that?
You can just ask, where are the restrooms? Or where are the toilets?
Okay, simple enough. And what if I get hungry or thirsty while I'm waiting for my bus?
Most larger bus terminals have concession stands or sometimes even a food court where you can buy food and drinks. And of course, you'll probably see vending machines too.
I'm definitely one of those people who always gets hungry when I'm traveling.
Me too. It's all part of the experience.
Well, I have to say, I'm feeling much more confident about my bus terminal vocabulary now.
That's great to hear. And remember, the best way to really learn these words and phrases is to use them in real life. Don't be afraid to start conversations or ask for help from the staff at the bus terminal.
You're absolutely right. It's all about putting what we've learned into practice.
Now, how about a little challenge? Are you ready for a mini quiz to test your listening comprehension?
Bring it on. I think I'm ready for it. Okay, hit me with that quiz.
All right, first question. Imagine you're at the ticket counter and you want to buy a ticket to Los Angeles just for a quick weekend trip. What type of ticket do you need to ask for?
A round-trip ticket, of course, because I'm going and then coming back.
That's right, you got it. Okay, question number 2. You've arrived at the bus terminal and you need to find out when your bus leaves. Where do you look for that information?
I think I would look for the departure board. You know, the big screen that shows all the bus numbers and destinations.
Exactly. The departure board is your best friend at the bus terminal. Okay, last question. You're on a tight schedule and you need to get to your destination as quickly as possible. What kind of bus should you try to find?
Oh, I remember this one. An express bus. Because it makes fewer stops.
That's right. You aced the quiz. Looks like you've been paying attention.
I feel like this deep dive has really helped me solidify all these new words and phrases.
I'm glad to hear that. It's so rewarding to see how much progress you've made.
I'm actually feeling excited to use my newfound knowledge the next time I travel by bus.
That's the spirit. Just remember, clear communication is key. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Most people are happy to lend a hand.
Is there anything else we should cover before we wrap up our bus terminal adventure?
You know, one last tip I would give is to familiarize yourself with the layout of the bus terminal before you go. A lot of terminals have maps online, or you can usually pick one up when you get there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always feel a little overwhelmed when I first walk into a big, unfamiliar bus terminal.
Knowing where things are, like the ticket counters, the restrooms, the waiting areas, it can just make the whole experience so much less stressful.
Definitely. And it never hurts to give yourself a little extra time just in case there are any delays or you get a little lost.
Exactly. It's always better to arrive at the terminal feeling relaxed and prepared.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything. I'm feeling much more confident about my next bus trip thanks to all your helpful advice.
My pleasure. It's always fun to explore these everyday situations and break down the language.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has been helpful for you too.
We'll see you in our next episode.
Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English Naturally for more fun and engaging English lessons.
Happy travels!